you can begin, my dear.
Let's get into it. So today we are going through what we like to call our Burnout-Free Offer Workshop. So put in the chat, let us know what your business model is currently if you are running a business. Is it one-to-one coaching? Is it selling a product? So if you can put in the chat sort of what your business model is and how you're feeling about it. Are you feeling like you're trading your time for money? Are you always like, is your business only running when you're showing up? So pop in the chat and tell us how you're feeling about your business, because you're probably neurodivergent if you are here and you've seen our ads, and you probably know that we get burnt out quite easily. We get really overwhelmed and there's lots of stuff going on all the time. We've got so many ideas and our brains are all over the place, so we can burn out really easily. And we're going to take you through what we have learned as neurodivergent founders, and the business model that we, hand on heart, honestly believe that is the best for our type of brains. So we think that we've finally cracked the multi-passionate code. And so we want to walk you through what we've been doing over the past few years that have created a business for us that is a brain first business. It lets us live our life the way we want to live it. We have so much time freedom, location freedom, and we really think that this type of business model is going to be the best for you going forward. And we've both done lots of different business models in the past, and we've learned a lot from those business models. But for neurodivergence, we know that our brains, we thrive on dopamine, novelty, change. We've always got lots and lots of ideas, and they don't ever stop, really. So we need a business model to match that. So we're talking about a brain-first business.
Yeah, and today we're going to show you the exact systems and frameworks that we've actually built because we've learnt from our, not mistakes, because we're not about mistakes, but we've learnt from our processes and what we've done and what we've created, and what we want to share with you today is a dynamic offer and how that can generate consistent 10K months in just working 10 hours or less a week, understanding your core offer and you at your very core, and what that dynamic offer actually is what we really want to show you today, so that you can leave hopefully with a few tools in your tool belt that you can go and actually begin this process and get what you do best out into the world. And so I'm Kristen, and that's Mia. She's over there on my screen. So we have helped over 1,000 creatives, and we've mentored them. We have multi-six-figure businesses. I've been in brand and marketing for over 15 years. I started my corporate career in brand and marketing. My background is graphic design. As a dyslexic, I am incredibly creative and love anything creative, basically. If I can do something that allows me to do things and create with my hands and create visions and things like that, that's what I love to do the most. And it wasn't until I was made redundant that everything actually opened up for me, because I realized that even in my corporate job, I always had different ideas, different thoughts. I was always side hustling, trying new and different things, because I just needed to use my creativity in a way that now, as I know, I'm a manifesting generator. And if you know your human design, pop it in the chat, because that will affect the way that you do things in your business, in your marketing, in your world. And basically, as a manifesting generator, I'm built to do a lot of things at once very quickly and just break the rules and try a new path. So I left my corporate career after being made redundant and started a consulting business online. So that was over 10 years ago. And since then, I've built several businesses. We also have a vineyard in South Australia that I host weddings on, bespoke weddings. So we do about 10 of them a year. I absolutely love doing things like that. And so for me, creating different businesses, setting them up, helping you understand your business, your brilliance, and how to make that work for you is something that just excites me no end. And that's why we're so excited to have you here to hear what you guys are up to and show you what's possible in creating that core offer, but still also allowing you to have fun in this space, because it shouldn't be really monotonous and boring. You should be having fun. And Mia and I certainly have along our journeys.
Yeah. And my background is very different to Kristen's. I was a nurse and a paramedic for most of my adult life. And I was diagnosed with ADHD late in life at age 38. And I always had a bit of an entrepreneurial spirit inside me. I always tried different side hustles. Like I just wanted to, get out of my job, and I had all these ideas, but I didn't know what to do with myself. And so I pretty much got to complete burnout before I made a massive change. I had 2 kids and I was on maternity leave, and I was like, shit, I've got to go back to shift work with these babies. Like, what am I doing? I'm just so completely burnt out. And so I quit with no plan B. And it was the craziest thing I've ever done. I quit paramedics. I convinced my partner somehow for us to sell our house and sell everything and get in a caravan and travel around Australia in our van for 2 years. And during that time, I discovered my brain and that I actually had ADHD. And when I figured that out, it was like I was meeting my brain for the first time, and I became creative again, and I started to lead with my brain instead of doing the things that I had to do, get the job, get the mortgage, have the kids and the white picket fence. I said, fuck all that. I'm going with my brain. And things started to take off. And ever since then, I created 3 separate businesses to 6 figures each in under 12 months each. So when I started to understand my brain and how it was actually wired, that's when the changes made. I stopped trying to follow neurotypical rules in business as well. And that's when the big changes had. And since then, had so much fun. Kristen and I met on TikTok. She sent me a random DM, saw me online, documenting my journey online, and we've been in business together for 3 years, building what we've got today, and it's been so much fun. And so we've created content for over 300 brands. We do brand deals, UGC. We also teach that as well. We've both got combined 150K followers online. We've got a top 15% podcast. If you haven't listened to the podcast, go check that out. We have fun with that, just gas bagging all things business content. And yeah, we filled our disco offer, which is what we're going to teach you when we originally first met, in under 2 hours. So we filled our offer in under 2 hours, and we hit 6 figures in this big business as well in under 10 months. And we generate consistent 15 to 12 row ads on our launches. And we get so much joy out of teaching women and men who think like us. You know, we've been through many courses and many programs who are led by very neurotypical, focus, must do this over and over and over again, or you will fail. If you've got a shiny object or a new idea, block that out. We're not about that, because we know that your brain is fueled and seeks dopamine, and we need to follow that. Otherwise, we're going to burn out. We're going to resent our business. We're not going to want to show up if we don't lead with our brain. So that's a little bit about us. We're super multi-passionate, as you'll get to know. But as a neurodivergent, we have unique struggles. And so let us know in the chat if you resonate with any of these.
Like, if you've ever said any of these, felt any of these, if you are any of these. I suppose what we want to do today is just show you that be the permission slip, I suppose, to say it's cool if any of this feels like you, because we've been there, we've done it, we have days like this, but we now have frameworks and structures to get you through this that we've proved time and time again. And it wasn't until we've done certain things in our business, even in the last 3 years, but when we look back, certainly when I look back on my 15 years, and when Mia looks back on her journey so far too, it's becoming very, very clear the pieces of the puzzle that have got us to where we are, and how those frameworks that we've built work time and time again. And now when we do something, we can turn to even our own frameworks and be like, oh, that's right, we're doing that. Or yes, we're going to do a disco offer. Or yes, we're going to do this. So if any of this resonates, and I can see people already, Dave said all of them. Yeah, welcome. Anita, yes, all of them for me. Yes, Suzanne says all of these. So we just wanted to make you guys feel seen, because, you know, like Mia said before, we've personally, separately and together, invested tens of thousands of dollars in our own self-development with coaches that have been sensational. But we just kind of went, hang on a minute, why isn't this working like it should? And we've tweaked it and turned it and used our own creative flair and gone, oh, that's because it was very neurotypical and it didn't fit us. It always felt like, you know, the thing that we say, it's like wearing a woolen jumper on a summer's day and you just like want to rip it off your body. That's what it feels like when you try and sit in these coaches' spaces that give you the neurotypical plans, they just feel uncomfortable and you just want to rip them off, and you can't understand why it's not working for you, but you just know it's not. And I think what Mia and I have been able to do is take our expertise, our backgrounds, our neurodivergent, and go, oh, hang on a minute. Now we can create something that, like, we'll never say to you, no, you can't do that. You must niche down. We'll say, okay, that's cool. Let's explore that. Yet let's use these frameworks and decide whether that's the right decision for your business, or whether you need to sit here, build that foundation, and then when you've got that 10K reoccurring monthly revenue in your business, the core, which is what we're going to talk about today, then yeah, let's go and play in the branches. Let's have fun out there because you've got that core. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure everyone feels seen, and I can see a lot of people saying that yes, they've recently been diagnosed, they're feeling that exact same way. So welcome chaos. Let's hope we can streamline it for you.
Yeah. And so you'll probably resonate with this little flywheel that we've got here. It's a bit like a dopamine trap. You know, you have this big idea and you get the dopamine rush. You're like, yes, this is the $1 million idea. This is gonna change everything for me. And so you start building, perfecting, you know, you just get so hyper-focused. And then you launch it to the world, and then it's kind of crickets, or maybe you get a few sales or not many. And then you start to second guess yourself. And then it's, oh my God, it's me, or it's the idea. And then you scramble trying to make it better. And the burnout hits. And then you're like, you know what? It was the idea. Scrap the idea. I've got another brilliant new idea, and I'm going to do that. And then it goes around and around. So let us know in the comments if you've done that before. You might have lots of, you know, half-finished projects because you've got, you know, yourself in this little flywheel, and it really affects our self-confidence. And I used to think all the time, like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. People are going to think, oh, what's Mia doing now? Wasn't she doing something, you know, a couple of weeks ago, and now she's doing something else? So we get in this dopamine trap, and it just goes round and around and around with so many ideas. And this is a bit of my chaoticness before I figured out my brain and went with my brain. So I would have ideas, like I had baby swings, and then I spent lots of money buying all the materials and going to markets and doing all these things. And then you end up in this valley of despair where it's not working, or you're burning out, or you're sick of the idea now and I want to do something else. And then another idea came. I had this brilliant idea. It was called Gift and Forget, because I used to always forget to buy people gifts. So I'm like, great, I'm going to build this platform. It's going to be awesome. People would come in and, you know, schedule all their gifts for the year, and then automatically it would send out to your loved ones. And I spent months and months building this thing, trying to get investors and all this kind of stuff. And I launched it to the world, and I had no personal brand. I had no one to launch it to. And you know, that happens, and it didn't really take off. So I'm like, oh, well, it's a shit idea. I'm going to go to the next one. And then it happened all the time. And so if you can relate with this sort of up and down, and it just feels messy, chaotic, you've got the great ideas, but it's just this sitting in this roller coaster of business that gets really difficult for us. And it's really hard not to beat yourself up about it. But when you start to understand how your brain works, that's when you start to get momentum. And so all of these big ideas were great, but I didn't have a through line. I didn't have a disco offer, which is what we're going to talk you through today. And I didn't have a repeatable system that could run on autopilot while I wasn't there. I had to show up for all of these businesses for them to work. And with the ADHD burnout, that's not ideal. And it's really hard to explain to especially neurotypical coaches and things like, I have RSD. I go through these burnout sessions where I can't show up online for 3 or 4 weeks at a time. And they're like, they don't get it. They're like, just show up. You need consistency. You need to do this. Like, if you really, really want this, don't use that as an excuse. But they don't understand how our energy cycles and our brains work.
And in the comments, like you guys have said, Shane, he's had this billions of times. Andrea, yes, 20 businesses all started, fizzled out. Like, you're all, you know what it feels like. So we hope that by the end of today that these comments start changing in terms of you can see the possibility, you can see how it's possible, because it's normal and we've all been through it. So we want to really take you through how you can see those offers through and or decide, is it actually the right offer for me or not? And we'll show you that process too today.
Yeah. And just looking at Suzanne's, like, I think people with ADHD, like, we have all these hobbies and half-finished projects and all that sort of stuff, and we just have to stop shaming ourselves.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to run a business that requires all of your time and all of your energy, you don't have time to crochet the rug or finish the rug and do all these things. So when you set your business up in a way that works for your energy cycles, all of a sudden you've got time to finish the rug or do your little hobbies and side quests as well. So when I figured this out about my brain and figured out a business model that worked for me, I was able to grow 3 separate businesses to 6 figures. I didn't have to quit anything. I've never quit those 3 businesses and started from scratch. They're all interconnected into my personal brand and my through line. I set up monthly recurring revenue. So we haven't had a $0 day in almost 4 years now because we've set this system up to work. I've just come from my kids' cross country because, I don't have to, obviously I'm here now, but this is an hour or 2 out of my day and I can go and live my life, and the business doesn't require me to be here all the time for it to bring in money. And so I work less and we work less and have more time freedom for all the new ideas. We don't stop, coming up with new ideas and testing them. Yeah. And so, this is all about taking that overwhelm out of it and setting up systems to work for you.
Yeah. And you're not struggling because of the lack of discipline. Or the consistency to actually stick to that one thing. That doesn't really end up being the problem. You're just likely been trying to run a neurotypical business with a neurodivergent brain, or a multi-passionate brain, or we love to call it a multi-brilliant brain, where you want to do the other things. And this is, again, that permission slip to say, okay, if you want to, let's figure out how you can do that. And this is like static, linear, neurotypical business advice punishes our curiosity. It demands consistency that we might not have. We can't maintain it, and it makes us feel like we're the problem. It shames us. Even the other day, Mia and I, we're doing some other work we're moving from our core as well and playing these branches. And we said the same thing, like, God, it's so hard, even knowing what we know. There is this shame that hits you, like, is this the right thing? Am I just doing that again? But then when you come back to that core, and when we come back to showing you what this whole dynamic offer is about, you'll realize that all of a sudden, hopefully that mind shift changes for you, where we both went, fuck this. It works because it makes sense with our through line. It makes sense with our personal brand. It makes sense to who we are as our core and how we want to serve you as our clients and help you in your business. So our goal is to show you how to build a burnout-free dynamic offer that is built to suit you and your brilliant brain. That's the whole point of today's session, is to get you to that place. And this is how the story is going to hopefully start to go by now, as we go from that spiral where we're out of control to a spiral where you build that disco offer, you share and gain the interest in that idea with a wait list. And we're going to show you that in a minute. And then we're going to validate that offer so that because one of the things that we do, as we said before, is you have these great ideas and you go, like Suzanne said, you go crazy, and all of a sudden you start to doubt yourself. And you go, I can't do it. I'm not good enough. This isn't going to work. And then you stop. And so by validating, you get people saying, yeah, I'd have that. Yeah, I'd buy that. So we're going to show you how to do that and start to build it, and then create that repeatable, scalable system. And all doing this while you're testing different offers and understanding your audience as well, is where we want to take you by the end of today.
Yeah, and we're really big on, instead of getting your idea and going hard and fast building it, we actually show you how to get paid before you've even built anything. Sounds a little bit whack at the start. You're like, how are people going to pay me when I've got absolutely nothing?
I mean, let us know in the chat if you'd like that, someone to pay you before you actually go and have anything to give them. Then we're going to tell you the through line of disco offer. You're speeding ahead, and I love that, but we're going to take you right there so that you understand it in the next few slides. But basically that's what we want to do, is show you how you can get paid before you build it. so that you don't hit that burnout. You actually get to leverage your hyper focus and your ability to get shit done quickly, because you've been paid for something that you love to do, and you now get to share it with people instead of wondering if anybody's going to actually want it. And our intention is for you to have a few aha moments today. It's the permission slip that we've been saying, and this is the unconventional way that we want you to start earning money online in your business, so that you can really sit back and go, oh, I love what I do, and I can't wait to show up to work. I can't wait to maybe leave my job and do this. I can't wait for this to be the thing that I get to do all the time.
Yep. So at the end of this, we want you to leave with a named offer, a clear audience, and a concrete first step to getting paid first and fast. So especially with a brain like ours, we need that constant dopamine hit. So if you get paid for your idea before you've even built it and it becomes validated, that's the dopamine that you need to keep going. And when someone pays you first, you're like, people actually want this. I don't have to build it first, guess, put it out to the world, and find that I've just wasted 6 months because nobody wants it. And then you end up in that spiral again.
Yeah. And we're taking a guess here. We kind of saw it in the comments before that you've said this or felt this. I have too many interests and I can't pick one. And what we want to tell you is the great news is you don't have to pick one. And that's not what we're going to do, because I guarantee you there is a thread that connects every single business idea, fun idea, anything that you've ever tried and potentially failed or let go of. Or I think it was Suzanne said she's had 20 ideas that haven't worked, or maybe that was someone else. But all of those things, I guarantee you, have a through line. I've been doing this for too many years. Mia has been doing this for too many years. We have never, ever met any client or student that's given us all their ideas and we've gone, oh, none of that makes sense. There's always a through line, and that's what we're going to help you build. Well, help you understand today. We have some tools that will help you build it inside our larger program. But the through line is the part, it's the foundation. It's the part that keeps you rock solid. It's the part that if you imagine you pull a little thread, again, in that woolen jumper, and as you pull it, it just keeps bringing everything together and together and together. And that is your through line. That is the thing that no matter what is consistent, and somehow in that world you keep coming back to. And why that is important is because if you keep coming back to it, it's in your soul, it's in your who you are, it's in the makeup of who you are, to want to teach that to others, to want to show that to others, to bring that into part of your business enough that it lights you up to continuously be able to do this and build that core offer. And so like this right here, this is the neurotypical advice just doesn't work in terms of a multi-brilliant brain. We've got all of that going on. Your through line is in there, but as soon as you pull that thread, you become like the eye of the storm, is what we build when we build a dynamic personal brand, which helps us build all of our dynamic offers. But that through line, it may seem messy to some people, it may even seem really messy to you right now, but it's got a core, it's got a through line, it's got the eye of the storm, and everything that moves around you may feel chaotic. But what we want to do is teach you to understand how that becomes the magnet that attracts people to you, attracts people to your offer, that makes you incredibly magnetic to your ideal customer.
And when you set up a dynamic personal brand, we'll get into that a little bit later, you can't quit being you. You know, you can quit a side hustle, you can, pivot and do all these things, but you can't quit being you. And when you figure out that through line, everything starts to make sense, and you can pivot and you can do all these little things, but everything comes back to that core personal brand, which is so, so important these days, especially in the world of AI. Everything's changing and there's AI slop online. If you don't have a dynamic personal brand these days, it's going to be really hard to build a business around that.
And the dynamic personal brand, just to show you this in a visual sense as we get to the through line, is basically, it's everything that makes me, me. It's everything that makes you, you. It's all whirling around me, and I don't have to sit any longer. And I've done marketing. I've done the do your content pillars and make this and do that. I've done all that in my career. I've done that for businesses. Has it changed in even the last 6 months? Yes. And do you need to keep up with it? Yes. Because what it is the way that we look at your dynamic personal brand is all of these things make up who I am. And at any point, I can bring any of these into my content because I know how they turn back to my story. I know how they build my through line. I know why I want to talk about it because it's so deeply rooted in the reasons I'm here doing what I do. And we have created a few things with AI's help that we would help you to use in our program around building your through line. That's had members inside Evolution, our program, just mind blown that all of a sudden the mess and the slop that's in your head that's going crazy at 1,000,000 miles an hour finally becomes really clear when you can articulate in a way that AI can actually help you understand it. And then you get to use that as your foundation. You get to see those things that you've been trying so hard to understand that don't make sense to the outside world or even to you, now become part of your dynamic personal brand and part of the makeup of what makes you you in business.
And like Andrew said, oh my God, how do you get to the through line? You got to do a little bit of deep work, and we do have some tools and resources to help you get to that. And you'll bawl your eyes out when you get to that through line. You're like, oh my God, of course, that's my through line.
Yeah.
And so there's just one rule when you're building your dynamic personal brand and finding that through line, and it's having a niche audience, not a niche topic. Not about creating your social media around one topic and you're giving tips and tricks just on that one topic. We want you to have a niche audience. So an audience who you understand deeply, they understand you, they connect with you, they're in the same sort of life, they've had same life experiences. It's not this 40-year-old women who have 2 kids and in a corporate career. It goes deeper than that. We talk about psychographics instead of just the demographics. And when you start to build that niche audience, they follow you for you. They love you for you. They can't wait to see what you've got coming next. And just because you've got one offer, if they follow you for you, when you pivot a little bit and you've got another idea, they're like, oh, awesome. Suzanne's got this other thing. I follow her because I love her and I can't wait to see what's coming next for her. And when you've got this through line, when you're creating content or putting yourself out there, everything comes back to that niche audience. Okay, you're creating content for them, but you can have a couple of different topics, a couple of different content styles, but when you're speaking to that person who you know deeply, you can talk about a lot of things. I follow a lot of creators for their tips and tricks because, that's great. I know nothing about them. There's no connection. They don't know me. I don't know them. Sure, I've got a great tip from them, but I'm not going to buy their thing because there's no connection there. And so it really helps when you can look at it as I've got a niche audience, not a niche topic.
Yeah. And so what we want to do to kind of help you unpack some of this as well is we've got a little document we're going to give you guys, a little cheeky surprise that you can do right now. We thought we'd take some action because this is not just a sit and listen. This is a sit and learn and do. So what we're going to do is kind of, this one doesn't have the...
Yeah, we can get the Y doc if you want.
No, that's all right. I thought we were at the top of it, but the questions are right here. But we've got an actual spread document. What am I trying to say? A document for you in a bit. But right now, we're just going to use these questions. So get a piece of paper, Google Doc, whatever you've got in front of you, and just list out these few things and answer these few questions. We'll give you a couple of minutes to do it. We won't stand it too long because what we want this to happen for you is the quick, fast answers. Those initial don't sit and marinate in it just yet. Just try and get these answers out. So what is your why? What is the one problem that you're obsessed with solving for people? Whatever your business is, wherever you sit right now, what is that one problem that you're obsessed with solving? Or one thing that you keep going back to or you keep talking about or for some reason you're just drawn to that becomes part of your content, part of what you want to help people with, share with people. And, going back to the through line and the niche audience and thinking about that, you may have heard it online. As I said, things are changing. No longer is it, building your ideal customer. Susan is 45 and she has 4 dogs and she goes to the cafe on a Sunday and reads 74 books and blah, blah, blah. you're talking to a version of yourself. At the end of the day, we all are. So when we're doing things like this, it's thinking about what's that one problem that I had that I've solved with whatever I've created in my business that I'm obsessed with talking about. I'm obsessed with sharing. I could talk forever about it. So I want you guys to write that down. And then as you go, just move through these questions. What is my how? So what is the unique style of the way you take people through it? What is that? What makes you you? What makes you different? What is something that you do or something that you would help these people with that's unique to you? And then what is my what? What topics, kind of like the what is my why, what topics do you consistently return to no matter what? Trisha, she's done. Look at her go, kicking goals. Love that.
And if you need a bit of an example, my examples helps to explain this. So when I was doing all my different businesses and I thought the idea was the thing, and, when I quit paramedics and I had no plan B and I had to make this work, I started documenting on social media what I was doing, what I was building, how I was building it. I was kind of building all these things in public. And then when I was working on my through line, trying to figure that out, when I looked back on everything, I was like, oh my God, every single time that I've started a new idea or a new business, I've just got this need to document what I'm doing so other people can watch me do it. And so they can learn. I'm not teaching them anything. I'm not preaching anything. I'm showing them what I'm doing. And I just had this always just this thing inside me, like, look what I'm doing. Look at it. This is how I'm doing it. And this is what's happening. And I got my first sale. And this is so just documenting that journey. And then when I came to this through line, I'm like, my through line is showing other people that they can do this by watching me do it. And so I got to that through line of sharing what I was doing to inspire and empower other people to do it too, because I didn't want them to stay stuck in their job. I didn't want them to feel like they couldn't do it. And so I always came back to, look what I'm doing. You can do this too. Come on, let's do this. This is fun. And I'd have friends come to me that they have a business idea and then they would tell it to me and I'd get all excited and I'd try to encourage them. How can we make this work? I'm going to work with you. Let's do this. And then they might just quit or go back to their job. I'm like, no, what are you doing? We can do this. And so my through line is always coming back to sharing what I'm doing with other people to inspire them to do it as well. And so even though a topic might change or a little side project might change, I automatically come back to documenting it online so other people can watch me do it. And so that's my through line.
Yeah. And so
on mute.
So as you walk through that, so keep this in your back pocket because you can keep coming back to this as we move through everything else. You may change some of this. You may have some other ideas. And then you can start looking at this dynamic personal brand. If you look at those 3 questions that you just answered, or you start thinking about who you are, what you love to share, the stuff that you love to talk about, just start to think, okay, if I was just putting down all the things about who I am, what I do, what I stand for, just this is starting to build that dynamic personal brand in terms of all of those things, like back if we go back here around all of these different topics, all these different things that make up me, that make up Mia. We talk about all these different things in our content to make us magnetic to people, but we also combine that with our story and our through line to make this all work. And that's why this stuff is so powerful. And that's why, Mia and I just created an AI tool that helps you with this through line, like I said. And even we did it to test it. We've done our through lines over again, but we did the AI steps to do, and we both were, I'm bawling. I couldn't believe how accurate, and it said and saw things that I didn't even hear myself, that I was like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, you see this clearly. So this is all continuous work, but you're starting to build these tools. That's what we want to get for you guys.
Yeah. And take note when you're creating content too, what content is effortless for you that you can just get on and speak about. Because when like become more self-aware. Like if you've got a content plan and you have to say this on this particular day, that gets icky and hard. But when you jump on and you're able to just verbal diarrhea, take note, okay, why was that so easy? And that's the sort of content that you need to keep creating.
Yeah. And that's just why we're going to continuously go back to the through line and go back to you building this. And it's something that we're really passionate about making sure our students nail early on so that we can keep going back to it. And it makes sense as we build out these other offers inside what is you becoming a dynamic personal brand and building that business. So defining your niche audience.
How are you?
Oh, just pop someone on mute. I can't remotely mute. Some background noise.
Hang on.
And so what I was saying before about your niche audience and not focusing on the very typical marketing advice of get the demographics on point. We need to go deeper to the psychographics. So grab a pen and paper and picture the person that you would love nothing more to help. Who is he? Who is she? What's their current life situation? What are they currently going through that you understand deeply, that generally you've gone through yourself before? And what are their core beliefs? What do they actually believe in? Is it like an us versus them? It might be based on religion, or it might be based on, single parenting and like the homeschooling thing. A lot of people deeply believe that homeschooling is far superior than mainstream schooling. So what are their core beliefs that no matter what anyone else says, they still believe that? So go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. And also, what are their life goals? And what sort of lifestyle do they actually want to live? You could have a niche audience of people and their dream lifestyle is living on a ranch out in the bush and being self-sufficient. If you've got a product or an offer and you're trying to speak to everyone, but that like those people are going to believe something very different to somebody else. So if you can start to really get a good picture on who this niche audience is, you're going to become magnetic. And you can't be everything to everyone. So you really need to go deeper. And this is why it's not ideal. Like going viral is just, okay, it's a thing, but when you're trying to sell an offer to someone, it's not important. All 200 view videos, they're the videos where people are going to be like, oh my God, Anita knows, she's in my head. She's speaking directly to me. And those 200 views, they're the people that are going to buy from you, not the viral 100,000 view videos. They don't matter. That's just, vanity metrics.
And it's important when you're doing this process too, is to think to yourself, there's a difference between, I should really work with these people. I could help them, more than you thinking, who do I want to work with? Who is my ideal client? If I could work with anybody or anybody could buy my product, who are they? You get to choose this. And then you create your dynamic personal brand and your content around that. You don't have to think, I could sell it to them. I should do that. Who do you want to work with needs to be at the forefront. And then you build from there and you find that person and you speak to that person, because they will light you up. That the thought of working with them will light you up, so that you can continue to want to do this.
If you take a look at Kristen and I, we could go out there and be business coaches to anyone and anyone who would listen to us, or maybe just women. But we want to work with people who have the same brain as ours. They're multi-passionate, they're neurodivergent, they understand us, we understand them deeply. We can have conversations. We just had a coaching call yesterday, and then one of our students was, a bit off and she just wanted to chat. So we got on a private call with her and we could speak to her so easily because we understand what's going on in her life and her brain, because she is us. We are her. And so that's the difference. And that's when you become magnetic.
Yeah.
And so when you have a niche audience, it changes from don't speak about this or that. It's speak about this and that. It doesn't matter, because you're on that same level with that person. They're not going to care. Like Kristen on her socials, she'll speak about the winery and then speak about, fitness and all these different things, but it doesn't matter because she's speaking to a very particular type of person.
Mm. And you may have also said something like this: I have too many offers and ideas. None of them are working. And now I'm exhausted. It's pretty common around here, the whole burnout. And that's okay because we get it. And we've taught a lot of creatives that feel exactly the same way. The answer is having one dynamic offer that breathes and changes with you instead of 5 static ones that suffocate you. So instead of, one coaching program and one this and one that, we want to find you a core offer that allows you to build monthly recurring revenue so that you can breathe. And then you can create other things from there. Once you find that one offer that allows you to breathe and move. And the way that we do that is with our disco offer, which, yes, is as fun as it sounds. We had to have it some fun. We couldn't just have like a framework that was really boring.
We like shiny stuff. All right. So what is a disco offer? So D, this is the big one. It has to be dynamic. So it has to have the ability to evolve and change with you because we are changing all the time. Our brains are faster than most people. So we need an offer that lets us change and evolve without having to burn the whole thing down when you go on to another idea.
Yep.
So we're going to work on that. It has to be infinitely scalable. So one to many. We don't want you to trade your time for money, because especially with a neurodivergent brain and burnout, we need something where if we're going through a burnout and we need to rot on the couch for 3 weeks, we can do that and the money still comes in. So over the past 4 years, monthly recurring revenue has been the one thing that has kept me in this space, because I go through those phases where I can't do anything and I can't show up, but the money keeps coming in because I've set up my business that way. So it has to be infinitely scalable. We don't want to do one-on-ones. I mean, you still can do that when your energy allows it as part of your branch. We'll show you the tree in a minute. But the core offer has to be scalable. A simple name. So we want to keep a simple name that is memorable, clear, and easy to say out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Clear steps for your clients or your customers. So simple steps. And that's also to prevent overwhelm for you as well as your customers. So when you can simplify it, that's going to be, because I know me and Kristen have gone through this. We're like, oh my God, we want to do this and this and this and this and this. But when you try and simplify it into 3 to 4 clear steps, then that makes more space in your head and doesn't overwhelm your customers as well. And then an outcome, a transformation. So one clear path from your customer or client's hell to their heaven. Okay, so we're solving problems. That's the business that we're in. We're solving problems. So how are we getting them from their hell to their heaven?
Yep.
All right, so what makes an offer dynamic? So can you shape it in real time? Not ahead of time. We're not building something where it's going to be the same in 2 or 3 years' time. Can it move and evolve in real time with you as you change, as your clients change as well? If your offer is static and you're not evolving, you're doing a disservice to your customers as well, because are you just going to keep doing the same thing even though the world and everything's changing and you're changing, but you're still teaching them the same thing that you were 3 or 4 years ago? So it needs to be able to evolve.
Yeah.
And the wrapper stays the same, but inside you're able to test ideas and change things and go to your clients or your community and say, hey, I've got this idea. Like, they can start testing it for you and giving you feedback, and you can have a lot of fun on the inside. As long as the wrapper stays the same, you're able to play inside as well. The delivery method needs to be flexible as well. And this is where it's really important to know your human design as well. How do I like teaching? How do I like showing up? If I don't like doing these sort of live things, how else can I do that? And if I want to do it another way, can I do that? So having it as a flexible delivery method on the inside really helps as well.
And the reason and the way that we've come to these outcomes is we've done it several times. Same thing, copy, paste, repeat. And we got to a point where we were so burnt out that we were like, why isn't this working? This should work. I've been told this should work. And then we tweaked it and changed it and made it flexible to who we were, and it started working again. And then we looked back on that story and saw that, okay, by shaping it in real time, testing and changing, making it flexible, all of these things here, that's how we've come up with this dynamic offer that allows you to do these things in a space that's still confined and it's got parameters and instructions, but it's also like, you know what, you want to test it? Cool. Let's try it. Let's see. Here's some rules and some ideas for you, but let's see if we can test it at that time. And I think that's where we've come to this. And you can put as little or as much time as you want into it, and it becomes then something that serves you so that you can serve your clients. And it allows your customers to evolve with you, as like Mia said, as they should. You should evolve and they should evolve, and you can kind of do it together. You'll still be ahead of them and you'll still be showing them and taking them on this journey, but it's not constraint to something that feels really uncomfortable for you.
I just put a document in the chat that has all this stuff so you can keep that and work through it. And I'll show you a little tool that we've built as well that we give our clients to help them get this dynamic offer to a point where, you know, you feel comfortable with it. Just going back on that last slide, Kristen, I was going to say something. Oh, yes. So it has to be in a way where you can put as much or little time as you want. Do you have a paid community where you're showing up once a month or once a week? Is it a live workshop, or is it a template that you give out once a week or once a month? So you need to be able to understand your energy levels and, can I show up once a week, or should I do this as a once a month thing? And then that gives me more time and freedom. So really understanding your energy levels, and you get to build, this is your offer. You get to do what suits you.
Yeah.
And so one of the the best dynamic of offer that we have found, and this may not be for everyone, but it is a paid community. Somewhere where you can get as many people in as you like, or maybe it's a high ticket paid community and you only need 10 or 20 people in there, but it just has to be something where many people come in and you're not trading your time for money, which essentially subscription, membership, paid community, group coaching kind of thing.
Yeah. Do you want to show your disco offer thing now?
Yes, I'll show you a little tool that we give our students just to show you.
So jump into the comments, and as Mia's loading this up, let us know how you're feeling. Let us know where you're at, any kind of questions that we can touch. We've still got more to go, but anything that is coming up for you now, drop it in the comments and let us know so that we can kind of understand where you're feeling as we walk into this next section as well.
Can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Yep. So as everyone knows, AI is wonderful now, and we've sort of put all of our knowledge and our frameworks into these sort of systems that can help you come up with your offers and your ideas and your niche audience and all the things in an interactive manner. So I'll just walk you through this quickly. You can put your name in and the name of your offer, and then you can start building. And so it's just going to take you through a bit of a checklist. So does your offer bring in monthly recurring revenue? Okay, yep, I'll tick that off. And you can work through this. But then you can also have a chat with AI. So we've trained this AI to basically be like you would be speaking to us. Put it in there, and then you can start asking our hive brain some questions about your offer. And so we're building all of these wonderful tools for our community. And so it just takes you through the D, the I, is it infinitely scalable? And you might be asking a question, oh, I'm not sure, is this infinitely scalable? And it will give you feedback based on what you put on the inputs here. Is there simple steps? Okay, I'm not really sure if these are simple steps. So you can put it in here, but then it'll analyze it and help to understand, okay, well, that's way too many steps, or maybe you could do it this way or that way. So it just really helps you come to that dynamic offer, and you can just work through it. And then at the end, it'll help you build your core offer at the end. Obviously, I haven't put anything in here, but it'll build it for you, and you can refine it over time. So we love AI and working with AI, and it's getting better and better and better. And this is just one of the many things that we do. And again, this is an example of our dynamic offer. We can do these little cool, fun things on the inside and get our students to test it out and give us feedback. And it's just a really helpful tool to go deeper on these sort of things. So that's just a little demo of what we're doing on the inside of our program as well.
Cool.
Right. There we go. So grab that doc and have a work through. Can you give examples of what the subscription membership could look like? What's offered, how to monetize your audience, is likely low income? And that's a really important thing to keep note of, is when you're speaking to your niche audience, what is their financial status? You know, we've got a lady in our group who does recipes for like budgeting and recipes for families who don't have a lot of money. So she's not going to go and sell a $500 a month membership to them, because she understands them deeply. They're stuck and they're broke and they're looking for ways to save money. So she's got a low ticket paid community where she gives recipes and templates out to them every single month. And so it's a one-to-many. She doesn't do live calls or masterclasses or anything like that. She just gives them her recipes every single month and makes their life easier by providing simple.
And with something like that as well, it comes down to the messaging around that. Like with her messaging, it might be a low ticket membership that she's offering, but she's saying, but with joining this, you're actually going to save that when it comes to your shopping bill, the food wastage. You know, she's got 5 kids. Let's start with 5 kids. 4, yeah. So she's giving that messaging that, yes, you may invest in my community and you'll get all of this, but you're actually going to save this because I'm going to be able to help you with the shopping lists and show the budget and where to shop and what's good, what's not, how to do dump bags, all these things that she does that are amazing. So it's getting that messaging right as well, so that you're speaking again to your audience in a way that they go, oh, that's really beneficial to me. So that's part of the pricing structure as well when we go through this.
And your offer might not work for 300 people inside a membership. So you might be a 10 or 20 group coaching program and it's high ticket and they pay you monthly or a payment plan, but you've got a smaller group because it's more intimate, because you need to work with them more one-on-one or in a small group. And then like us, we do one-on-one coaching sessions on the outside of our program too. But we do that when we want to. We set up our calendar to only do that on specific days. And if we don't want to do it for a while, we won't offer that. But when our energy allows it, we can do that. But we prefer the group.
And now the part that we are excited to share with you in terms of, I'm glad that was a good answer. Thanks, Andrea. In terms of, cool, you've got these ideas, but now we want you to get paid before you go and build it. We want you to get the validation that allows you to go, oh, people want this. Instead of going, you know, we've worked with clients before that have said, I've built the entire membership. I've built everything. The course is ready to go. It's fantastic. Yes, cool. How many people have you got on your wait list? No, I've just built it. Well, who wants it? Oh, I don't know. I just thought I know it, so I need to now share it. Where it's the opposite, where you go, I know this information and I want to, and now my audience, I know they want it, so I'm going to go out and basically just say to them, hey, I've got this thing. Are you interested? And validate it. And then we build around that validation in terms of making sure that you get paid before you spend too much time building it and therefore burn out.
And we do this validation process for all of our ideas. All of our ideas. When we get a new idea, we're not going to build it first. We're going to go out and see if people actually want this. Create a wait list, get them. You be completely transparent. This is not ready yet. It's not built. But if you pay now, you're a founding member and you get that price forever. And as soon as someone buys and trusts you and puts their money down, you're like, it's validated. If one person wants it and is willing to pay for it, there's other people out there that want this as well.
And nearly 4 years later, we are still working with some of our founding members in different capacities because we've evolved and they've evolved, but they've come with us. And that's the beautiful part. They still, we still offer them certain discounts and certain offers because they are our core people. They said, hell yes. And we said, hey, we have fucking no idea what's in here, but this is what we're going to do and trust us. And they went, yeah. So that's the power of having that founding member, which is a process that we walk through to make sure that it feels really good for you and your people go, yeah, I'm in it. And you build that trust really quickly. And you gain the momentum from that instant dopamine of getting that validation for your idea. Before you've wasted time, like I said, hyper-focusing, creating the whole course or whatever it looks like, and then not being able to sell it. Because that's where the burnout comes. That's where the fizzle out comes when you create everything because it's so beautiful in here. It sounds amazing. Of course it does. Everybody wants what I've got. And then you create it and you hyper-focus and then nobody wants it or they don't really understand it. And the best part is if you go and validate your offer, and you get no one, excellent. Fucking best news you could ever get because you haven't wasted time, you haven't done work that you didn't have to, and now you get to tweak the offer, do some research, look around, is it worth it? Do my people want it? Change your messaging and recreate it. It doesn't mean you burn it down. It means you look at, okay, why? Maybe it was the messaging. Maybe people don't really understand what I'm doing. Maybe nobody does want it, but what they do want is a part of it. Maybe they want this section, or maybe I've gone too far ahead and they don't understand what I'm talking about. So I need to come back here. Like, where is my audience at right now? I need to go and meet them there. So having nobody validate the offer is excellent news because you can tweak it and change it and make it desirable and what people want. And if you do get validation, same thing. Excellent. Now you can move forward knowing that you've got somebody, and even if it is one person will end up being 2 people, 3 people, 4 people and beyond. You just need one person for you to allow yourself to have the confidence to continue going forward.
Yep. And so then you're right. It's like a Kickstarter campaign. Here's my idea. Put your money down and you get a discounted rate when it's finished. And you get to help me build it alongside me, and you get their feedback and they actually tell you exactly what they want.
Yeah. So taking action on the rapid validation method, which we love doing, is set up a simple test. Like, no need to spend any money, no need to do anything. It is a simple wait list in their language. It might even be a story poll or a story question where you get somebody to say, yes, I'd like that. It sounds great. Great. Well, now you go to the part where you start collecting email addresses so that you can then build that and talk to them further. And the way that you're doing this is you're sharing your idea to the wild, where you're literally going to a borrowed audience, your own audience, Facebook groups, Reddit, wherever you want to. And do people actually want it? Like, share it. Here's what I'm thinking. I've just decided that I'd like to share X, Y, and Z. I'm really curious about this. I'd love to know if it's something that you'd be interested in. Let me know if you are. It can be as simple as that. And remember, you've built that dynamic personal brand. You've built your niche audience. All of these things, that through line, it's all starting to come together so that when you do share this, people don't go, what? Like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I'm curious. I'm excited about what that sounds like. You gather and use that feedback. So if you've got your wait list going, which we will absolutely tell you needs to be done once you start to get those validations from maybe just an Instagram story, for example. Let's just say you do that and you get people saying yes there, then you build that wait list so that they're actually giving you their email address, which is currency in this world. We all know how many emails we've got that give us the shits. That is currency. When someone gives you an email address, they're saying, yeah, I'm invested. I'm here for it. So monitor that, see the feedback, see the DMs, understand what people are saying, and make sure you keep those people on your wait list in the loop for what's coming up. And then we offer a process that is validating that your founding members, where you're actually kind of saying, all right, here you go. And we will honestly tell people to just go out and say, look, I have not, let's built my membership, my community yet. It's just right now a Facebook group and an email once a week. I'm just getting set up. I'd love to hear your feedback. So when you join, if you choose to join, you will be starting at this current rate. It will never be this low again. But what I'm asking you is that your support, your feedback, your ideas help me build this, help me grow this, and you'll forever be my founding people. And that's how you start to build something. And then that's where you'll find people will be like, yeah, okay, this sounds cool. I'm here for it. Let's go. Let's grow this idea together.
And when you have founding members, it's almost like you build this small, tight-knit community, and it's just really nice because they feel like they're a part of it and they're helping you build it. And like Kristen said before, we've got founding members who are still with us 3 years on because we've built that with them, and they've been with us from the very start, and that's special. And then obviously when you go and open it to your wider community because you've already validated it, that's at a higher price, and your founding members are set at that lower price for life, basically.
Yeah. And so some of the, we just want to introduce you to some of our incredible students who are doing amazing things. Chrissy joined us inside our program Evolution, and she came with 1,000,001 ADHD ideas, which we absolutely love. And Mia and I thought, oh my gosh, she's just going to make something incredible here. And she didn't believe that she could, but she knew that there was something, but she didn't know how to make it happen. So she's got an incredible dynamic personal brand, She's got a podcast that is number 6 on the charts. What it was when we kind of did this stuff here. She has got a membership, Still Social, which she's opened up and started to build already, and has members in there already ready to go, absolutely in love with her. And one of the offers that she is doing is taking people on a cruise. So women are signing up with her. They're going on a cruise, and she's already filled out every single spot on the cruise. And it's only just opened in the last probably month, not even a couple of weeks. And she's put her resignation in for work. So she's in this, and she is at the stage now where when she came with us, hers was more, I just want to retire now. I don't want to keep working. I want to retire right now. I've had enough, but I need to be set up. And so that's now she's at a point where she's able to leave her job and do this. And another member, which we'll show you in a minute, Tara, her and Tara have teamed up, and what they are doing together, like even now I've got goosebumps. They're just so dynamic together. And that's what our community have been able to do, is we're a close-knit community where these creators and these entrepreneurs are seeing things in each other that have allowed them to go, oh, this is possible. And with all of the things that we can set up for you and help you with, that's what they've been able to grow. And this is Tara, for example, who we were talking about with the recipes earlier, with her lower ticket membership. She's got some incredible recipes, got a huge following, and seriously invested following. It's not just viral content she creates, because her videos go viral, but then the comment sections, it's not auto DMs, send me this, put this in. It's literally people having conversations with her and her having them back, as well as, the auto DMs that come in. But people are invested in her and her personal brand. And Chrissy and Tara have just started to create high tea events they did one in, was it Queensland? No, they did one in Sydney. Yeah. And now they want to do it in each state around Australia, because so many people are invested in it, for women over 40 who just want friends and just want to go out and have high tea with a bunch of strangers. They've got brands on board. What's happened, because they've created their dynamic personal brands, followed their through lines, and now they've got their core offers, but now they're playing in the branches. And that's the really cool part about what we hope for all of you if you choose to come along with us.
And they're multi-passionate, multi-brilliant, neurodivergent, amazing women, and they're doing UGC and brand deals, and Tara's got a book deal coming up, and they're doing the high teas and the cruises, and they've got their memberships. And so all of a sudden they're not bored in this one static, repeat, offer. They can play and have fun, but they've got this monthly recurring revenue set up. So if they're burnt out and they don't want to do a brand deal, or they don't want to do a high tea event for another few months because they've got stuff in their life going on, they don't have to. They've got their core offer, which is their membership. And like Ange, beautiful Ange, she is a barrister. She has been with us for a few years, and she she's the same. She's multi-passionate. She creates content about law, so she helps small businesses in the legal side of things. She's an avid runner. She's got a podcast. She's got a book club. But her core offer is this membership where she helps small businesses with the legal side of things. So it's like an affordable way to have contact with a lawyer on hand, a lawyer in your back pocket sort of thing. And she's amazing. And she has the monthly recurring revenue. She can do, I think she was renovating a cottage a few months back, and she does her running and she does all these different things. So it's just proof that you don't have to be this static person with one offer and bore the living daylights out of you trying to push that one thing all the time. And Tracy, she's another beautiful member of ours. She's one of our founding members. Tara is as well. And I think Angie's as well too, actually. And these are all our founding members. And so she's got a subscription fitness app where she helps women in menopause. She's an author. She has cracked $100,000 doing UGC and brand deals. She's a speaker. She's got this beautiful dynamic personal brand as well. And I think Tracy's probably got 1,000 followers on Instagram, maybe.
Not even yet.
Yep.
I think even got 1,000 yet.
Yep. So you don't have to be this 100, 200K follower to make money. That's a fallacy. Like, there's people with millions of followers and they're making $0. So don't worry about the vanity metrics. So now once you've built your disco offer, one that's dynamic and lets you breathe and have fun and be multi-passionate, you've got a clear niche audience that you can speak to about anything, but they understand you on a deeper level. And you've got your concrete first step to getting paid before you build this disco offer. This is where it gets exciting. This is where you can scale it to 10,000, 20, 30, the sky's the limit. And once, we're not going to sugarcoat this and say that you're always going to be working 10 hours a week, because in the beginning there's a lot of work to put into it and you're building and all the things. But when you've got it set up, you can take a look at our calendar. You can seriously work less and get paid more when you set your offers up like this.
Yeah. And where your overwhelm and that stagnant feeling is stemming from is this continuous need here in the space in the 10-3-1 law that we actually saw another creator speak about, which, like, wow, that nails it in an instant. So we wanted to share it with you, is that in the 10s is where that's what business owners prioritize. These is the messy, the busy work is what Mia and I like to call it, is the stuff that you just fiddle with your Reels covers and your leads and your Canva and your AI and your this and your that, and you fiddle, and you're doing all the busy work, where if we kind of break it down to three things, this is what business owners prioritize who generally stay stuck in under that 10K months, is they're stuck just kind of trying to get the leads, trying to get the sales, trying to fulfill everything and trying to make that work, where the one most important thing that you can do in your business is to get leads in your business. And one thing that we love to work with our students with is to try to understand that idea of, if you have 100 people, what it means. How many people are going to make a sale out of 100 people? How many people do you need to make a sale? What does that look like? And breaking that down, the biggest thing is for you to get leads into your business.
And having a neurodivergent brain also, I think we get really stuck on the busy work, like the logo and fixing the website and all these little things, when really the main focus you should have as the owner and the founder is getting leads. And I don't think I've posted on social media since before school holidays started, but we've had 300 people sign up to this workshop today on autopilot because we've had ads running in the background. I've switched off social media for weeks. And so you don't have to show up all the time when you set your business up in a way that brings you leads automatically. But then, like Tara, she's never run an ad before, but her social media has grown so beautifully that I don't know what her email list now is, tens of thousands.
Yeah.
Because she's got her content down pat. But if you don't want to show up 3 times a day on social media, there are other ways to bring in leads consistently. And so that's where you're attracting your niche audience on autopilot. You're bringing in leads all the time and you're inviting them to an invitation event. Like this is an invitation event right now. If you just have your offer and you put it on your link in bio and it sits there collecting dust, you're going to have a really hard time making any money, because it's a bit like if you think of it like a shop front on a busy highway and the doors are shut. The shop's there, people are just going to walk past or drive past. But if you open the doors and put a big sign out the front and say, hey, everyone, I've got something inside that you will love, and you're standing out the front and you're welcoming people in, they're going to go, oh, I never even noticed that shop was there before. I'm going to walk in and have a look around. And then you've got your conversion event. So this is your offer. Here, I have an offer. Would you like it? Some people will say yes, some people will say no. They've come into your invitation event, you've built trust, and an invitation event can look different depending on how you want to run it. It may not be a live event like this. It might be a free lead magnet, a download, one of the ladies in our membership, she is a psychic, and so she's doing free readings or free healing sessions. And so she's inviting people in to get to know her. She's doing this free reading or free healing, and then she'll offer her thing at the end. Would you like to join me in my membership? And so these three things are really important when you're building and scaling your business. Ads. Has anyone run paid ads before? Thought about it? Scared of it?
Let us know in the comments if you've run paid ads before, or if you've thought about it, or if you're not sure, or how you feel about paid ads, because they can feel very daunting. But they don't have to be. And one thing that Mia and I ensure that we do with our members is to help you understand what makes a good ad. And ads, like anything else nowadays, are moving so quickly that we're keeping up with it because we are running ads constantly. We've made ads for brands. We're in brand and marketing. We understand what it takes to make a good ad. And so we can share that with our community and help you understand how to do that better and set it as a low cost so that you can just see those leads coming in, which again just allows you to go, oh, okay, it's on autopilot. So you're doing other things in your business while those ads are running, allowing you to breathe and build your business.
And when you've got a good group, like Kristen said, I've been creating ads for brands for 3 years now, so I understand what ads work and what ads don't. And when you get to understand the numbers, so if you look at some of these numbers, so $2.62 per lead, so it costs us $2.62 to get a lead. But when you understand your numbers, you're like, okay, but I made $10 back from that $2.62. So when you start to understand your numbers, it's a bit like pokies that you know you're going to win every time. If you know you're putting $5 in and getting $10 out every time, you'll be chucking $5 in every single day on repeat because you understand it and you know it works. And it is a lot of trial and error. You might run an ad and it might flop. But if you understand, okay, why did that ad not resonate? Why didn't it hit? Maybe I'm not speaking to my niche audience in a way that they resonate with. And that's why it's really important to know your niche audience when you're running ads, because now it's not so much like before it was about targeting and all these different little things you can do. Now with AI and the way that Meta runs their ads, it's really based on that creative. So the AI is so good that it will find people who resonate with that creative. So you don't have to spend too much time trying to figure out how to target and what areas to target and all that sort of stuff. So we also help with that, and it can really magnify your business 10, 20, 30-fold if you can put an ad that actually works running in the background on autopilot. The leads are coming in and we run our ads to these events. And so if you look at this little chart here, can you tell when we've had an invitation event and when we haven't? So as you can see, like when you're not inviting people into your world, into your offer, that's when you get that drop off.
Also really curious, if anybody's here, how did you find us? Was it through an ad? or was it that you've been a long time follower or whatever? It's always good for us to know too, and nice for you guys to see, oh, okay, some people we've had by our program that have come from a completely cold ad, never met us before, never seen us, come to this event, gone, yes, I went in, I love it, and I'm in. And even to us, again, we look at those numbers and we continuously do, and Mia is probably more the numbers brain behind our business and will often let me know the numbers, and I know them, but she loves to get in the deep part of it. But even looking at them, it gives us confidence to invest in our business in Facebook ads when we can see, oh, we ran it to a cold audience and we converted 3 people. Like, that's nearly unheard of. So something's working, and that's what we want for you, is to see that and see those numbers so that you have the confidence to invest in your business and your ideas. Oh, Andrea found us through an ad. Lovely.
Okay. Yep. And I recognize Amber. She's probably been floating around our world for a while. I recognize your face. And that's the thing too, people may not buy straight away. They might be floating around in your world for 1, 2, 3 years, and then all of a sudden they buy, or they might buy straight away. So it's building this beautiful trust funnel of bringing people into your world. They float around, they listen to your podcast, or they watch your socials, or they come to an event, and when the time's right, they might buy or they might not. I've been floating around in other creators' worlds for many, many years, and I've never bought anything yet, but it's that trust funnel you're building over time. And it's part of, like what Anita said with the Google ads, you have to understand your customer and where they hang out. If they're intentionally searching for something on Google, then maybe Google ads is the best way to go, instead of randomly showing up on their feed as they're scrolling. So you really have to understand, your offer and where it sits.
And the other part of this too is when we talk about this invitation event, is for neurodivergent brains like ours, not everyone loves selling because it can feel really gross, really uncomfortable. It's just sometimes not in our nature to do so. And so an invitation event is what we are doing right now. And soon we're going to get to the point where we're going to invite you into our program Evolution. And you're either going to go, yes, absolutely, can't wait, I'm in. Or you're going to go, you know what, not for me. And we're going to go, cool. I hope you had some fun today. I hope you can take the takeaways. I hope you stick around and listen to the podcast. So for us, it doesn't bother us. But if you're ready, we're ready. And that becomes a lot easier for us and for you, I hope, to just think of this as, this is an invitation. You're invited to come into Evolution, and we'd love to have you. But if you're not ready, or if it doesn't feel right, absolutely no sweat. That is cool. Stick around. Hopefully you'll learn some stuff from us one day. Maybe one day you'll be ready. So it's just even changing that language in your own mind that, we're going to sell you an offer soon, but I don't actually want to. I just want to say to you, hey, if this felt really good, or you've got more questions, come on, coach. Like, we've got a discovery call, jump on, have a chat, or just we'll see you some other time, or send us a message, and that is okay. And we've come to that as business owners because that's the way we love to work with coaches, is when a coach invites us, and we've been to events that we've been sold to and it's horrific, and it's coming, so you just want to be like, okay, just give it to me so I can leave. And then there's others that it's coming, but you're like, I don't care what it costs or what it's going to be, I just need to kind of be in your world to understand what this is. And so that's what we hope can change for you if you choose to do your own selling, is now turn it into an invitation. You're just inviting someone. They can say, no, I'm busy that day, or yes, I'd love to come, and that's all it is.
And I think it's a common thing for neurodivergents to just not like selling. Like, I've always hated it. And my human design, I'm a generator and I'm a responder. So I don't go and put stuff out and then I respond. I wait for it to come to me and I respond. And I can't remember who said it, but it really changed my way of thinking. You're not selling, you're serving. So if you can teach something to someone, or you can give them some value, you're serving them. And then if you're right for them and they're right for you, they'll come into your world. So you don't really have to do this hard selling all the time, which, we hate.
And we're about to show you, for example, what our kind of 10 hours a work week looks like. And like Mia said before, did it start like that? No, absolutely not. Does it look like that now? Yes, because we've got things inside our systems that we will share with you around templates, swipe files, landing pages, and messaging. And we've got AI tools that now support our members and support us, Mia and myself, so that we can make this a 10-hour work week. And all that's really important is to make sure that you don't feel bad if all of a sudden you come into a program like ours, or you're sold something and but it's taking me 24/7, 7 days a week because I'm an entrepreneur and I love this and I'm a bit spicy. Sure, it's going to start like that because you're in that hyper-focus excitement. But if you work with the skills and the frameworks that we can offer, then you get to break it down. So all of a sudden, it becomes a bit easier and it becomes that 10-hour work week, which is what we really do hope for you in this entire process. And so our typical kind of week, we grabbed a screenshot of our calendar from, when was that? April, I think, or was it, last month? A screenshot of our calendar and what it actually looks like. And this is legit what our calendar looks like.
And look at our Easter holidays. We've got kids. We're always on school holidays, but we've set up our business so we can actually have the 2 weeks off and not open our computer or post on social media because we're busy with the kids. And when you set your business up like that, where we do one coaching call a week, so that's 1 hour a week, or sometimes we go over and we chat for ages and it's 2 hours, 2 hours a week. And then we do our podcast, which we spend about an hour a week doing. And then all of a sudden you've got this extra room for activities where you can do your hobbies, your crafts, you can burn out on the couch, you can do whatever you want to do. And this is the beautiful thing about this monthly recurring revenue, is that you've got that time and that space to just kind of switch off. Or if you're high energy 1 month, or we all go through cycles and menopause and dealing with hormones and everything, if you've got some extra energy 1 week, you might be like, oh, you know what, I'm going to build that app that I've been thinking about doing. And then, you don't have to worry about where's the next sale coming from because you've got this monthly recurring revenue. And obviously, there's retention and you have to get new customers and whatnot. But when you can sort of predict what income is coming in next month, there's not that desperation to sell all the time. And when you stop selling, the revenue stops coming in.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, when you're building this disco offer, you're doing the simple function of, instead of, you're no longer building in this one box, one niche, one thing always, and getting burnt out because you're just trying to do that one thing. Now you're growing a tree. And what we say is that core thing is the trunk of your tree. That's the foundation. That's the thing that sits really, really strong in the ground that you keep going back to, the 10K, working 10K plus monthly recurring revenue, working 10 hours or less, so that you can plan the branches. They're the fun parts that are going to excite us and allow us to keep growing. And that might be in-person events, testing new ideas, one-on-one client calls, micro offers, side quests, painting pots, crochet, you name it. Do it in your branches once you've got that core offer that keeps paying you every single month, that gives you the freedom, the space, the weight off your shoulders, so that you can plan the branches. And I also guarantee that what's in these branches will be things that are in your through line. They won't be completely out of the blue, never thought of, never wanted to. These will be things that will somehow come back to your through line. So they'll come back to your dynamic personal brand, your through line, who you are and what you stand for. It'll all come back to that core somehow. I guarantee it. But at least you get to play there, and it makes sense then to your audience or yourself to go, yeah, that is why I'm playing over here. And that's what we want, using all of these methods and these all these methods that we create and these core things. This is what we hope that you can build for yourself to kind of just take that pressure off.
And just in the comments, I'm interested to know, I know it can be quite overwhelming to think, oh my God, I've got to run a membership. Like, that feels really overwhelming. Do I have to answer everyone's questions all the time? And I've always got to be in there. And I think it can feel overwhelming to someone who may not have run a membership before, or maybe they have in the past and it overwhelmed them. But when you set it up in a way that you're in control, you put your boundaries up. I'm only showing up once a week, or I'm only showing up for a live call once a month. I will answer your questions on a Monday, and that's it. So you get to be in control, so it's not this big overwhelming thing where you're trying to manage a membership full of 300 people. You have to stay in control and put your own boundaries up. And I know, as a neurodivergent myself, I've been a people pleaser my whole entire life. And so I've had to learn to put some boundaries up and say, I'm not going to answer that DM just now because I've got boundaries, and I'll answer it on the Monday when I said that I was going to do questions or whatever your rules are. And if you're awake at 2 a.m. and there's an email there and you want to answer it, do it. But you just got to set these expectations and these boundaries for your membership so you don't get overwhelmed. That's really important too.
And also remembering that if it's a membership, can be a membership that's a low ticket that grows, or it can be a high ticket, higher touch group program that's 12 weeks, but there's payment plans. And so that can happen, or it's 12 months and there's payment plans. That's still a subscription type model that can work for you, that isn't a membership as such as a traditional. So there's lots of different ways of thinking of this. If you want to do a high ticket with a payment plan, what does that look like? Or you want to do a high ticket short course something and then have a membership after, like Ange does. She has a course on the front end, so she makes sure that everybody that goes through her program understands the legal side of it. She was the lawyer we spoke of, but then she's got a back end membership that everyone that's been through that goes, oh, I still need some more ongoing support. So she offers that as a membership where she just does a call once a month to keep people, and she's got templates and things that people can grab in there. So there's lots of different ways that you can do this, but it has to always come back to what you want to do and what makes you comfortable and happy. And like Mia said, those boundaries for yourself.
Yep. And so how does everyone feel about validating their idea and going through that process? It can feel, a little bit daunting, but you almost have to make mistakes and test things out consistently to fall on something that works. Don't ever shame yourself for putting something out onto the world and no one wants it. It has to happen. You have to fail forward. You have to keep trying. No one ever succeeded on their first go. We've all got, ideas and stuff that flopped or we got sick of and whatever. But when you've got that, that core dynamic brand that is consistent, you can't quit being you. So you sort of have to go through that to get to success.
Yeah. And so as we kind of move on and start to wrap up, we'd love to know, what are your key takeaways from today? Have you learned something you didn't know before, thought a different way, kind of got any, not so much questions, but anything that you want to share that you might have that was interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way. We'd love to know in the comments. If you want to drop them in there, that'd be great.
Yeah. I'll just answer Anita. Do you assist in creating a website that has functions for automated emails, funnels, free gifts? Yeah. So, we can suggest platforms that are simple to use and to set up your funnels so everything's sort of automated. We will help with all of that. We don't necessarily help you build a website from scratch and all that sort of stuff, but we can definitely help in all of those areas in setting up something that's automated so you're not at your computer all the time, and got swipe files for emails. And we're also helping our students at the moment set up their AI brain so everything sounds like them. It's their brand voice. It writes the emails for them in a way that sounds exactly like them. They don't have to keep going tweaking back and forth, and putting a human element into their AI outputs. So you do save time, but it sounds like you. Doesn't sound like a robot with M dashes and all that sort of stuff. And setting up your funnels so it works for you while you sleep. Yeah. Tips on how to get clear on that main takeaway, the disco. Yeah. So it can take time to understand and figure out what's going to work. When me and Kristen first got together, we had an idea. It was going to be this, and we're like, okay, we're going to put it out to the world. And we already had personal brands on TikTok. We love TikTok, and we put the waitlist out. We've got this idea. Is anyone keen? And everyone flowed into the waitlist, and I think we filled the waitlist was big. And then when we opened the doors to founding members, we filled it in 2 hours or something. And we had an idea of what we were going to do. But when they came in, they had a different idea, and we got feedback, and we're like, oh, you guys want that. We were going to do this. That's cool. That's amazing. Now we know that's exactly what you want, and it looks a little bit different to what we thought it was going to be in the beginning. So that's why it's really important to even create content and see what the comments are like.
Yeah.
go to Reddit forums, go and read other people's comments on their videos and kind of understand what people are talking about, what people want. That can give you a really good idea on what type of offer to create. So it does take a little bit of trial and error. And that's why we want people to validate it and test it before you go and build something that someone might not really, really want.
Yeah. And I love Suzanne, after masking for 65 years, it feels a bit scary. Yeah, that's fair. But I feel like you're on the cusp of making this work. I love that because we've got a lot of women inside our community and that we've connected with that are over 50, some are 60, that are just in this space where the opportunities are there and people want it, and more people your age, younger, we're all in this like space right now where we do want something different and we are ready to consume it from somebody, and what an incredible life you have to offer somebody to learn from. And I think that's the really cool part, is that we get to learn from other people with other experiences in this space that we would never have had that before. So I love that excitement, and I think that's incredibly special to move forward with, that's for sure.
Yeah. And even like, someone like you're in your 60s, you've got this beautiful opportunity to create content and have women who are in that era as well who just immediately connect with you, because like, oh my God, everyone else on social media is 25 years old and they're doing all these things, and all of a sudden I've seen Susan and she's like, oh, that's me. Finally someone's here that I can relate to. So yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. And it can be difficult. I remember when I first started creating content and quit my AMBO job, and I was petrified of people finding me who knew me and I found me, and some have said something and other people haven't. But you just have to get to this point where, like, you know what, I don't care anymore. Like, I'm not going back to that job. Like, you stay in that job, and they're always complaining about their job and how they hate it. And I took a chance on myself, and it worked after many attempts, but it finally worked. And that's worth way more to me than being a bit embarrassed online. And there's always going to be people that have comments and say shit things, and you just block, delete, don't care about you. I'm doing my own thing now. So yeah. And it's a good exercise to help with the RSD as well, is working through that, being okay with being rejected, because if you're not rejected, then you're staying safe and you're staying comfortable. And if many people just want to live that life, and that's fine. But for me, I'm like, I got to get out of here. I've got to do something fun. And if it means I'm going to get criticized online, whatever.
Love that.
Therapeutic. Yeah.
And so we're going to take you guys into the invitation section of this, which, like we said before, you're welcome to stay if you'd like to be invited into Evolution, our bigger program that we want to share with you. If you've had enough and you've got everything that you need today, you are very welcome to leave the call and head on off with all the tools that you've got, or stay around and hear, keep connected and jump into the chat and let us know how you go. But we are going to walk into the part where we want to invite you into Evolution, because this is the stuff that we've seen, members like Chrissy and Tara and the other members inside Evolution, the changes that they're making every single day and every single week when we catch up and we have our lives. It's just really exciting to see them go from, I don't know what I can do and I don't know what's possible, to hang on a minute, now I've got a bit of structure and I don't feel alone, and my busy brain doesn't feel like it's failing all the time. I can actually walk through these parts and see what's possible for me. And I think that's the most exciting part when it comes to this container. And especially, we do keep it relatively small in terms of there's 10 spots available this time round that we'll open the doors to. And we do that so that we can really spend time with everybody inside Evolution to give the support that you deserve. And also you get that feedback from each other, which I think is probably the coolest part, is to see, when Chrissy and Tara started kind of connecting and growing, we're like, oh, this is cool. This is really, really cool.
And I think there's something to be said about being in the room with people who just get your brain and you can connect with, because it makes a big difference. And, we've had people that have been with us for a while who still haven't really figured it out yet, but just being in a room with other people who are in the same position, who are feeling the same things, who experience the world in the same way, is invaluable in itself. And I know when I started creating my ADHD content online, finally I was able to connect with people who thought like me. I thought I was the only one that felt like this. I thought I was this weirdo and there's something wrong with me. And then when I started to put myself out there, I'm like, oh, there's so many people like me, and I love it, and I love connecting with them. So being in that room with the women, we love it.
And what we find is we've got, incredible teachings and learnings inside Evolution, the program itself. But basically we catch up weekly in live group coaching calls. We did one the other night. There was a wine night. So wine or cup of tea, choose your poison. And that was a really good session where we just sat around and did just talk through our businesses and had a good chat over a glass of wine, or those that had a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, which was really nice. So we do things like that. We're incredibly human. We're transparent. What you see is what you get, and we will, we're there to support you through that. So, and we find that the live sessions is actually the part that is the most powerful. It's not always the learnings and the AI tools and the this and the that. It's getting in that group and seeing people weekly, which we find is really special. There's voice DM. So there's Monday to Friday, you can voice DM inside Evolution, and everybody you can either do it to individuals, or you can do it as a group, so we can all learn, and we can then voice DM you back, because that's our jam rather than typing all the time. I love a voice DM. Inside is the dopamine launch system, which is yours to have access to. It's a private community where you can share questions, interactions, and catch up with each other whenever you want. There's AI tools that's built with our frameworks to support you, and then there'll be simplified AI tools for you to be able to build your own AI employees to help you through as you grow your business. And we've done all the things. We've made mistakes. We've got all these incredible little picture here of all the people that we've had that have come in, that have shared their knowledge with our community as well, to kind of show them what's possible. And it's, what we like to make sure we support you with is organic growth with your content, building your personal brand, building that confidence around your dynamic personal brand, messaging and copywriting. And we, like Mia said before, and when we mentioned the Throughline document, we're building these tools out for you to use with the help of AI, so that it can support these processes. Because what we found with, certainly, I've been doing this for over 15 years, and I've invested in programs, and I've sat in the messy part of the messaging and the copywriting and understanding all of this stuff, which I absolutely adore to do. But then all of a sudden AI came out and Claude came out, and now to be able to create a document, that means you may not have to spend the 8 years I've spent to do this process, but you can get to your through line over the next kind of couple of weeks and keep refining and keep talking and keep going. That to me, and that to Mia, is what's exciting about what we can offer you, is kind of a fast track so that you can get to building that disco offer straight up, because you can now start to build your dynamic personal brand and build that magnetism and your niche audience to actually get yourself growing in this space in a way that feels right to you, and you're not guessing continuously.
And just going back on that slide, we're the first to say that we don't know everything about everything. That's why we love getting guest speakers in, and you can go back and rewatch all the recordings from these beautiful people. We've had Tori Packer in. She did a beautiful manifestation session. Kate, she did help with confidence on camera. We've had the CEO of Stan Store, John Hugh, in. He was amazing. Yvette Mayer with human design, Rory Bland with content. So if there's something that, people are struggling with, we will go out and find someone to come into the membership and help as well. So we've had some amazing people in there, and super fun.
And we get you through this with 4 kind of simple steps, and that's finding your through line and getting clear on your niche audience and getting that alignment right. And then building your dynamic disco offer. That's your 6-figure burnout-free offer that becomes your core and becomes kind of part of what you do and that you get to build from. And then getting you paid before you build that. So understanding that dynamic offer and that disco offer, and then let's validate it. Let's get you paid so that you can start to build this thing. You can start to get that income and build it so that you actually really can sit back and be like, wow, finally I get to do what I've always wanted, but this time I'm not burning it down. I'm actually growing it. And then launch it, fill it, scale it, make it what it really can be, whether it's a 10K a month offer or maybe it grows 20, 30, 50. Like, the world's your oyster when you get this part right. And it's just these 4 simple steps to get you there. But we've got the frameworks built into those steps to make sure that you can do this in a way that lights you up and doesn't burn you out, which is the biggest thing for us, is to make sure that none of this is burning you out. It's the last thing we want for you. So, and we're with you every single step of the way. And, you know, the flip side is, if you choose not to take our invitation today, that's fine. You can take what we've given you and you can start validating an offer this afternoon. If you want, if you've got an offer and you've got an audience, go validate it. That's perfectly fine. And you can start doing that. And the flip side of not doing that is going back to continuously feeling that burnout, wondering why it's not working, maybe burning things down and starting again, and having that conversation with yourself when you wake up at 3 a.m. Why isn't this working? Why won't someone buy it? Is it me? Is it this? Is it that? Instead of having that group where we can really support you and show you what's possible. And like Chrissy, when she said she's handing in her notice after she just started with us, that was just that validation that I suppose we needed to know that, like, yeah, this does work for our incredible busy brains when she's implementing things that we're able to share with her. And now she's, you know, she's doing a cruise, she's doing all these things that she didn't think she knew she wanted, but until she joined Evolution, in her mind, it wasn't exactly possible. And so we have got, like I said, 10 spots available inside for you to take up if you'd like. And 6 months with us inside Evolution is $3,997, and we do everything in Aussie dollars because we are Aussies and we think that is the right thing, because every bloody subscription we do is in US and it drives us
you think
insane.
that's relatively okay, and you're like, oh no, I've got to double it now.
Oh God, it drives me insane. But so everything is in Aussie dollars, or there is a 5-part payment plan of $997. So if you pay in full, you do save nearly $2,000 on that one. And then the 5 payment plan is $997. So what we did also want to offer alongside that is, if you're on the fence and you're wondering, is this really for me? Is this something I can do? Then feel free to book a call with us, and we can sit down and actually hear your business, understand you. And if you are not right for Evolution, we will not put you in Evolution. We'll say, hey, we've got another idea. We could do a coaching call, or maybe you could try this or something else. So it's, you know, we're pretty transparent in that respect too. So if you're not sure, please book that call. The link Mia's put in the chat, or you can use the QR code and just come and have a chat to us, and then we can basically go from there. So
yeah. And we'll send you all this in an email later as well. So if you don't get the links, don't worry about it. We'll send you an email with the replay and all of this stuff as well. And you're welcome to book that call whenever it suits you.
And this is, hopefully my sound works. This is Tara. Let's see. Oh, it's not going to work. Oh.
Put her Instagram
in helping me build my brand. When I first started out online, it was purely out of curiosity. I wondered if it was really possible for someone in their 50s to be able to create a sustainable business, or was it really there for just a younger, more glamorous looking person? I started out by testing a few different ideas, but nothing really felt authentically me. Then I joined Hive Hub Collective as a founding member, and things just started to click. One of the biggest light bulb moments was realizing that I am my niche. It wasn't about finding a narrow topic or copying what everyone else was doing. It was about me being me. One time when we were in one of our lives with Mia and Kristen, they started talking about, find a topic you could talk with your friends about all day and you'd be never running out of conversation. So I started to do that, and things just started to change from that point on. Once I embraced that, my content just began to flow really naturally. I started sharing how I was going back to my old ways of budgeting and meal planning and creating a fortnightly grocery list, and it really resonated with people instantly. I wasn't thinking about how I could make money out of this or what was in it for me. My focus was on how I could add value and help others, and it made such a difference. Another big moment was creating Test It Tuesday. I could test products and share my honest thoughts so my followers could see if something really was as good as what it was claimed to be before they spent any money. And because I was being authentically me, it didn't matter what the product was, as long as it aligned with me and my brand, which was me. So I had limitless amounts of products I could test out. This meant I could test out makeup, kitchen appliances, it didn't matter, and brands were starting to approach me, asking me to test out their products. Over time, people started to even ask me if I could create digital products for them to make their lives easier. This is the first time ever that I'm doing something that feels sustainable, and I'm doing something that I feel like I can do forever. I don't feel overwhelmed, and I'm not bored. Hive Hub's helped me focus on my strengths and work within what I enjoy and not set myself up for failure. When we started talking about memberships, I was really nervous, but Hive Hub showed me it didn't have to be overwhelming. I could create a private community on my terms, offering as much or as little as I felt comfortable with. I've learned that I don't need to cater to everyone, just the right people who truly connect with me and what I offer. And creating content for them, it doesn't feel like I'm working. It's just me being me. Being part of Hive Hub Collective has been transformational. If you're thinking about building your brand authentically, finding your voice and creating something that lasts, Hive Hub is absolutely worth it. I'm so appreciative to Mia and Kristen for helping me see what my uniqueness is and that's my superpower. I've even had a publisher reach out to me and we're in talks of maybe doing something down the track together. There is no limit to what you can achieve when you've got the right people behind you, backing you and letting you see just how successful you can be. It is such a game changer when you've got people backing you that believe in you, and that's exactly what Hive Hub Collective has done for me. Thank you so much, Mia and Kristen. You have no idea what a difference you've made.
God bless.
Mm. It's so nice to see Tara team up with Chrissy too. Like, they didn't know each other before, and now all of a sudden they're doing something together as part of their dynamic brands. You know, it's one of their branches, and they're having so much fun doing that, and love to see it.
There we go.
Sure. All right. Well, we've got a little bit over time. If there's any questions, please let us know. If you think of a question later on, email us, DM us on Instagram. We're always floating around into the podcast. But yeah, like I said, we'll send this replay out via email and all the links. And yeah, we hope you've enjoyed today and got, you know, a new outlook on what business can look like for you. It doesn't have to be static and linear like, you know, it makes it out to be. So
yeah.
Cool. All right.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for staying. Those of you still here, thanks for coming. And yeah, like Mia said, any questions, just let us know. Shoot us an email, or if you're on the fence and you'd like a chat, then jump in and grab that link to the call, and we'll see you in there. We'll have a bit of a chat. Oh, got hay fever. We'll have a bit of a chat there.
All right. Thanks for joining today.
Thanks, guys. See ya.